I think for me was definitely taking the leap of faith of actually accepting my invite and coming to experience what Inside Out is like, because even though when I first started going to Inside Out, I didn't really know what it meant to be part of a church family and to know God. But as I kept coming until that next my life was when I truly put my faith and trust in Jesus Christ.
A huge thing for me was learning that you will not be perfect, but that it's about like getting back up and continuing to pursue God every day. And you're not going to be a perfect leader all the time, and you're not going to be a perfect person, but just kind of knowing that you need to continue on regardless of what happens in the world today, and that you just have to keep growing and keep going. I think having a big responsibility like that kind of just like pushed me into it head on. But
well, for me, I think it was my freshman year that my guy over here, Blake Malden, he sent me an invite to IO and to camp. And it was the first time in like a year that I felt seen and welcomed and wanted and felt truly loved. And like that just flipped my life around. And yeah.
For me, I would say that my sophomore and junior year, my lives, just something happened there, and I got so close with my group, and I opened up things that I didn't even know I had, like struggles inside. And the way that my small group just like took me in and they didn't judge me, I just think that that is such an important like relationship to have. So I am so grateful for my life because it has given me like such like a new way to look at like life.
This past year, like around the holidays, November, December, I was going through a really hard time in my life, and my small group literally just showed up at my front door, and they're like, okay, like get out of bed, like you're done, like get out of bed. My small group leader, Joe, stayed on the phone with me for literally 5 hours, and they were just like talking to me and letting me know like I do still have purpose, and they were just pouring into me whenever I did not even want to hear them at all. I didn't want to hear them. I didn't want to talk to anyone, and they just like were there for me. Like I never knew. They've always been there for me, but then I was like, okay, like y'all are really there for me.
I think Inside Out is so important because of the community it generates. The community that you surround yourself with is going to affect how people see you, your legacy. It's going to affect who you are as a person. It's going to influence how you think. It's just the most important part of your high school career.
I would say it's just super important because when you first walk in, you're greeted with people who actually care for you and want you there. And then you go to small group and you're filled with like everyone who wants to see you grow. And so just building a bond with people who you can tell care about you really just has changed my story.
Yeah, personally for me, North Point has been a huge part of my life. I moved here 3 years ago almost, and a whole year went by and I didn't have a relationship with Jesus at all. And then I met this guy right here, Mason, and he invited me to North Point. And yeah, this is where I found Jesus. This is where it all started, and I'm gonna keep going up from here. So yeah, it's been very important in my life.
For me, Inside Out, it gave me like it was an open place that showed me a lot of love in like a very dark place, a very dark time in my life. So I think it's just shown me like love and like I don't know, kindness.
So for me, something like Inside Out was very out of my comfort zone. I was never used to like being in like big groups of people, especially people from my school. I was so nervous, but someone invited me, and it wasn't just like a, hey, you should come to this thing. It was like, I want you there. Like, I want to see you there. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And I went, and I'm so grateful that I did, because North Point like really embodies, like, I know they say it a lot, but they're like, I want this place to be somewhere where you belong way before you believe. But it's like really true. And this is definitely somewhere that embodies that perfectly. And I met some of my best friends from Inside Out. And so it's like forever changed my life and my faith.
Inside Out has impacted me the most because it just gives me a place to go, honestly, when the week has been terrible and I'm just having a terrible day. I know Sunday at 4:30 I'll be here no matter what, and it's just somewhere I can like talk and be myself and pour out things that I've experienced all week where I normally wouldn't be able to do that.
I personally would say that Inside Out is like kind of what I think Maddie was saying,
no matter how your week has been going, it's really, really refreshing to start your week, I guess, and end your week within community and within fellowship. There has never been a time where I came to Inside Out and the message wasn't like, wow, so they actually just have been going with me throughout my whole entire week and just know what I wanted to hear.
So for me, my freshman and sophomore year, I was serving and I felt like I was pouring out all that I had, and I didn't really have anything to pour into me because I was terrified to come to Inside Out. And then my junior year, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna commit, I'm gonna come. And then having that environment where someone was pouring into me, and my girls, the group of girls that I'm in, was pouring into me, and my small group leaders was pouring into me, was just so special. And it refilled my cup and allowed me to go out and fill up the girls that I lead in 8th grade.
When you come to IO, you learn that God loves you. He knows you fully. So you shouldn't bog down in what other people might think of you. And you shouldn't think you're too cool, or don't be embarrassed, because when you get out of your comfort zone, that's when you truly discover yourself and you can live life to the fullest. I mean, for me, I discovered that at Camp 75. At first, I might have thought the camp songs or whatever was silly or stupid. And then I did it and I was having a blast. I was having the best time of my life, loving Jesus, worshiping him. And you live life to the fullest that way. So
my advice would be to just remember that you never have to be perfect in front of Jesus. My favorite aspect of him is that he's a friend, and he can be your best friend. And people who are my friends here, I feel like I never have to be perfect in front of them, but that's to an even higher level in front of Jesus. You don't have to. There have been times in my life where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. and read my Bible for an hour and have the perfect pens, and that's the least important thing. And just to try and be with him in whatever way you can, whether that is through your Bible or just saying a quick prayer as you fall asleep. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and be as consistent as you can, but it doesn't have to be in the same way. And if it's not, don't get down on yourself. Does not care in the slightest. Just do whatever you can, and you don't have to be perfect in front of him, and you don't have to feel bad when you're not.
Piece of advice I would give, I would say, it's not going to sound serious, but I would literally just say, hang out with your friends. Go be with people. I'm a guy who a lot of the times will be like, all right, what are we doing after this? We got to go do something. And I think it's just important, stay up an hour past your bedtime at DQ, whether you're having a serious conversation or you're talking about who's cooler. Whatever it is, go be with your friends and be in community, because life changes. And when you graduate, we might not see each other as much, and, that's sad. But this time in high school together, we get to be together and have all this time together. And Jesus just desires us to be together. Alexis was saying earlier that we aren't meant to go through life alone and walk through faith alone. And these are other people who care about you and want to be with you, whether it's something silly or that's something serious.
My advice would be to show up and be in the moment, because even if you don't realize it, every single person in this room and in this building loves you and they want to know you. And I just think it's really important to show up for other people because they show up for you. Even when you can't come Inside Out, life gets busy, everyone gets busy. But my favorite part is when the days that I don't show up, I get 5 texts saying, hey, we missed you. Hey, wish you were here. From my small group leaders and from people in my small group. And that's just so amazing to know that people care for you and people want to know how you are and check up on you. And so kind of everyone else was saying, be there for people. They'll be there for you. Be the mentor to someone, because we've all had amazing mentors that have graduated, and now we get to be that mentor for the underclassmen. So I think that's really important.
I would just want people to remember that you are not what you have done or what has happened to you, and through Jesus' sacrifice on the cross, then your past has been washed clean, and so you can just start new today. Just you can completely flip the script of your high school career right now, today.
I would like to state that faith is not something that others will do for you. It's something that you have to work through on your own. And yes, others will help. That's why there's community. But it's also in your alone time. You need to be reading the Bible, praying with God. Relationships don't work if it's one-sided. God could be talking to you and you just haven't been listening this whole time. So you have to spend time and take time out of your life to show him that it's a priority.
My piece of advice would be to go when you don't want to and to show up and step out of your comfort zone, because when you don't, you rob yourself of opportunities and you rob yourself of deeper friendships, and you also rob yourself of memories. I think all of us are really sad that this is our last camp and last everything, and you're gonna miss those memories. So you rob yourself of all of those opportunities. So just go when you don't want to and show up and step out of your comfort zone.
I think like it's very obvious high school is very hard for a lot of many different reasons, but I think one of the most like pressing things is like feeling like you need to fit a certain mold. And my advice would just be to ignore all of those feelings and wants and desires and just focus on the true constant, which is Jesus Christ, and keep that in the forefront of your mind.
I think something big is like you're gonna have setbacks, not just like in your faith, but in your life, and bad things are gonna happen and things are not perfect and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but never use that as like a cop out, like, oh, I like made this one mistake, so I might as well just like give up now. Especially in your faith, I think that it doesn't always look like just a straight uphill line. You're gonna have dips and you're gonna have times where you mess up, but the most important thing is not just in your faith, but in life too, I guess, to not ever let that be a reason that you just give up, but keep going, because there's a lot of people around you who are going through the same things, and that's the best way that you can grow your character and grow your personality and your resilience, is just to be able to get back up after that and understand that, you know, those bad parts and those bad things don't need to define you.
So I think everybody is capable of being a leader, and I think to be that person, you have to focus on your character. And I think character is like a very important thing about how leaders lead. Like, you have to have those character traits, be welcoming, be, you know, a good listener, be outgoing, charismatic. And I feel like I've learned that from a lot of people at North Point.
I would say like the biggest thing I wish I knew earlier, especially when I was a freshman or sophomore or junior, I wish I knew the true character of who Jesus was. I know the person of Jesus, and I know that he did cool things, and I know that he was the Son of God and that he died for my sins. But throughout this year and throughout the work that I've been doing with my friends, we just finished a book called Practicing the Way by John Mark Comer. And the end of this really ties it in, the whole idea of Jesus is the model and the way we can live our life. So I wish just somebody told me when I was younger, hey, dive into the Gospels about who Jesus truly was. Go read books outside of the Bible to tell you how Jesus really was. And it's just something like urgently telling me, hey, start younger. Like, I did it now when I was a senior, but I wish I could do it younger. And that would have just sparked and just, I think, multiplied the amount of influence I had. But yeah, just that was the biggest thing I'd like to say.
I'd say to just surround yourself with people that like love and support you, because in like dark times in your life, those are the people that are gonna be there to like lift you up.
For me, the biggest thing that I learned over the last 4 years is simply having gratitude for every single moment of your life. Freshman year, I was at the darkest point in my life. I feel like everywhere I went, I could find the bad things in life. And every moment I could just find the bad. And truly changing the perspective in your mind to find what you love and find things that you enjoy, that changes everything. And whether it's going to school every day, whether it's 5 a.m. practice in your sport, whether it's coming here to set up week by week, you might not want to do it, but finding gratitude in every single one of those moments really makes you enjoy life and want to tackle life and not like hide in this ball and just be sad 24/7. That's what I really wish I knew when I was younger, and that's what I would tell anybody for any advice. Is just have gratitude in every single time of your life.
Take ACC dual credit. Yes. Don't take EP courses.